Yeah. Welcome to the mission. Strap in, soldier. Fatherhood, don't wait. Let's move. Boots down, sunrise, another day to lead. I'm raising up my squad, planting purpose in the seeds. No manual, no map, just the heart of a man. Turn pressure into diamonds, yeah, that's always been the plan. From the rookies to the vets, we all walk the same roads. Carry heavy on our backs, but we never lose the load. We break cycles, build strength, keep our honor understood. Welcome to the front line, Operation Fatherhood. This is real talk, real dads, real grit. Suit up every day, cause our kids need it. Stand tall, stand firm, yeah, we rise where we stood. It's the brotherhood. It's the mission. Operation Fatherhood. No love, no cap, just truth in the trenches. We lead with love. We fight with purpose. We protect our soul. Stand tall, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm. We stood up. You in the mission now. Stand tall, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm. We stood up. Operation Fatherhood.
Welcome back to Operation Fatherhood. Hopefully y'all had a great holiday weekend this past week. Hopefully, if you traveled, if you got to go home, see the kids, enjoy the kids during the, the festive times of Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, I really hope that you took that time to really enjoy your kids, really connect and have a good time, create some good lasting memories, so that way you can reflect back on it. Like, remember that Thanksgiving that we had, remember when Dad smoked the turkey. and I say that because this year it was a little bit different. It was we stepped outside of the box. It was definitely one of those didn't know if we were gonna miss up Thanksgiving or if I was going to be a success. But it ended up being a success, and everything through that ended up being good memories, right? Seeing the girls' faces. And again, I'm talking about my kids, my own personal relationships with my girls. So just seeing their faces, I ended up doing a spatchcock style turkey, and if you don't know what that is, or you take out the spine, kind of crush the breastbone a little bit, flatten it out. And I did it on the smoker. I made some dope ass compound butter, did some manly dad shit when it came to the turkey, got my Kamado Joe smoking and rolling. So it was definitely good times. And today's episode is going to be not so much about quality time. I know I talked about the book that I'm reading, and I encourage dads out there to go pick this book up. And the way the book is structured, you're not reading chapter upon chapter. You're going day by day. And that's kind of what we do, even us in the trades, you go day by day. Yeah, we go to the meetings, we 3-week look aheads, all kinds of stuff, figure out what's coming down the pipeline, right? But in all reality, when we're out there in the field, doing our thing, honing our craft, we're living day by day. And this book that I'm talking about is called The Daily Dad. It's 366 meditations on parenting, love, and raising great kids by Ryan Holiday. Definitely a dope book. Go check it out. When you do grab it and you read the introduction, it'll tell you don't start reading from the beginning, right? It's broken down into each day through the months, whatever month you pick it up in. Go to that specific date and start from there. And what I just read a couple of days ago, it's definitely interesting and an interesting take. Like, we talk about quality time, spending quality time with our kids, but what really is that quality time, right? It's not the sunshine and rainbows and you know, everything is good. You know, the winning the awards, yes, that is great. We want to be there for those things. We want to be able to enjoy that type of stuff. But and I read this on December 1st, so you know, you're coming off the holiday. This will be December 4th when you hear this episode. So, but on December 1st, it's you know, talking about the garbage time, right? Enjoy the garbage time. And what do I mean by that? What does the book mean by that? So again, we all say quality time. Yeah, I want to spend some quality time with my kids, right? But have you ever just sat there and watched your kids read a comic book, color in their coloring book, right? Just sit back and watch. You get to enjoy those minutes, those things that they are doing, right? And that right there is quality, right? It might be just, you know, something so minimal as to, you know, them getting ready, you know, to go ride their bike. They're, you know, they're tying their shoes up. They're getting ready to, you know, go in the garage, put their helmet on, right? And those little things end up making some of the greatest memories. And I give you an example. So over the Thanksgiving holiday at our house, we ended up having a bounce house, right? Bounce house for the younger kids. Mind you, mine are all, you know, 2 adults, one almost an adult, my third one, and then my youngest being, you know, a teenager. You know, and then I had, you know, my nieces and nephews. Some of them are older; they're teenagers, so I didn't expect any of the teenagers to be jumping in a bounce house, right? So everybody at the house having a good time, you know, in the backyard, around the fire pit, you know, after everybody ate, having a couple, you know, drinks, adult conversations or whatnot, you know, as everybody started to leave and, you know, it was just us in the backyard. All 4 of my girls got into the bounce house and started playing. Okay. And what's crazy is seeing that, and me and my wife were talking about it. Like, that is quality time. That is going to be time that we probably aren't ever going to be able to see again. But we have that memory of them jumping in the bounce house, them playing and hearing the laughs, hearing them getting along. You know, again, we want our kids to get along if you have more than one, but just seeing that right there, you know, again, it's a little bittersweet, right? You know, you're going to have them grow up. They're going to grow up. They're going to, you know, become young adults. They're going to make their own decisions. They're going to, you know, be doing things that, you know, are no longer in our control. But that and I say that garbage time, that good garbage time, just sitting there, them doing their thing in their element and getting to take that in, man, that was such a joyous feeling. It was definitely something that, you know, I will definitely remember. I know my girls will definitely remember. And then who knows, maybe the next bounce house, we may be able to recapture that. But, you know, it's one of those things that you want to just live in the moment. So, you know, another thing about the holidays, right? Being able to connect and create those memories, you know, whether it's cooking, whether it's, you know, dancing, having fun, you're in your PJs, you're getting all the stuff ready, the kids are in the kitchen, trying to pick at the food and the pies and, snacking all day. It was fun. It was definitely a good, fun holiday. I hope everybody that is listening to this ended up having a great holiday as well. Hopefully you created some dope memories with the kids. Kind of to pivot a little bit. So, I wanted to really talk about that, the garbage time and not, focusing on all the glitz and glamour. Just be in the moment with your kids, like being able to just be in the moment. We're all sitting on the couch. They might be just looking at their phones if you have teenagers like mine, or even, young adults, just being there, being able to see them in their element and doing what they're doing. That is the good stuff. But I was gonna pivot, but just kind of to backtrack a little bit. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. It's cold. So, but no, one of the things that you definitely should focus on, and again, dads, we're trying to do and juggle so many hats, and do all the things and make sure that we show up the right way, right? Sometimes that 11 o'clock bowl of cereal that you might have with one of your kids, knowing they're not supposed to be up, is that, so quote unquote, quality time. That it's actually the garbage time, right? The one that's going to create the everlasting memories. Think about sitting in the McDonald's line, or in my case, the Starbucks line, right? That time right there, to where you hear them, maybe having a conversation or doing a TikTok, and you start to kind of, just see them in their element and what they're doing. I think that goes a long way. And I think those memories right there, when you can really, focus on that, and get to connect with the kids in that way and on that level, man, such a joyous experience. And then another thing that came up in the book, right? Here, now I have the book sitting right here in front of me, so I'm going to turn to the page. Right. And we're in December. Let's see. That's not the one. Oh, yes. So the name of this one, and if you get it, again, you'll read this eventually, but I'm bringing it a little bit just because you have to think about this in the grand scheme of things, right? Okay, you have little ones, you're watching them grow, you're helping them take their first steps. You get to see them, start to crawl, start to walk, start to talk, right? But at some point, we have to come to the realization that we are constantly losing our kids, right? I know it's a crazy pivot, but it's something that, again, prime example. I'll give you an example. My oldest is 20, right? She's getting ready to move across country. So it's one of these things that, as much as I want to not lose her and keep her there at home and be able to, watch out for her and make sure that she's okay. Again, we're not going to stop being dads. We're not going to stop doing that. But as much as I want to keep her there, to protect her, to make sure that, she's within, a shout, to where I can call her name and say, hey, come here real quick. It's not going to be like that no more. But in this little excerpt, that we're constantly losing our kids, again, it's one of those things that day by day, right? Yesterday's 11-year-old is not going to be tomorrow's 11-year-old, right? So again, really focus on the time that you're able to spend with the kids. Really focus on, what they're involved in, what they're doing, right? If they're toddlers, how you're teaching them. Because again, they grow up fast. They grow up really fast, especially when they start talking, when they start walking, right? They start making friends, getting into elementary, transitioning into middle school, and then from middle school to high school, those transitions that happen, and they go by very, very quickly. So with us keeping that in mind, that we are constantly losing them. And again, no parent wants to lose their kid. No parent wants to, something tragic to happen, right? But if you think about it from a bigger picture, right, we are constantly losing them. They're constantly growing. As they get older, they're making friends. They're being less and less at home, more with their friends, more, out doing the thing, going to the different parties and whatnot. Now, mind you, I'm a girl dad. Dads against daughters dating, all of that good stuff. So that's to a minimum, but still, you have to let them walk that rite of passage, right? You have to be able to and allow them to spread their wings and do what they do, but within reason, and making sure that we're spending that quality time, that garbage time, on really focusing on what they are doing, how they're doing it. Again, who their friend groups are. I think that's big, especially when you're talking teenagers. Who their friend group is, what are their friends like, so that way you kind of get to know what your kids got going on, get to know everything that is going on around your kids' lives. So yeah, I want to make sure that that we're really being hyper focused when it comes to our kids, and making sure that we're doing everything in our power. Again, we're out on the job site. We're living those days, away sometimes if you're not able to get back home constantly and be there, right? So when you are there, really, really focus on that quality time. I hope, come Christmas is right around the corner. So I'm hoping that, you get to spend that quality time with your kids, being able to, watch them unwrap the presents, making cookies for Santa. I know that, again, my girls, they don't listen to this with the kids around, if you know what I'm fixing to say, but my girls ended up, for years believed in Santa, right? As all young kids do. And one of the coolest things and traditions, we would make Santa cookies, right? We would make them cookies. And again, me being Santa after all these years, they actually, a couple years back, they asked, so what did y'all really do with the cookies? I was like, well, shit, I ate them. I wasn't going to let the cookies go to waste. Drink a little bit of the milk, right? And what we would do, we would leave like one or two with bites out of them. And they never put two and two together, but it was cool to be able to do that. We were doing Elf on the Shelf for a while. Those are also, good memories, right? And if you can, not so much video, if you want the video, again, because the way technology is today, you're able to do that, capture those videos, their reactions, right? Look back on those and see, how they've changed over the years. And again, as they get older, somebody's going to tell them that Santa's not real, that Elf on the Shelf is not real. But if you're able to capture those, you're able to see those things and capture those memories, man, those are good, right? Especially around the holidays, because then you can, when they have their own kids, when they grow up and they end up having their own kids, you'll be able to, play some of those things back and be able to, maybe show your grandkids and kind of embarrass a little bit. Hey, this is what your mom or your dad was, back in the day. So But no, man, it's a joyous season. You know, if you and I say joyous because, again, being with the family, being with kids, being able to do all the things that we want to do, I think, plays a big part in how, how we bring in the new year, how our kids are actually seeing, what is going on. But also, and again, slight little pivot, sometimes the holidays ends up being some of the hardest times, for some. I know some of my fellow brethren that were in the military with me didn't like the holidays. They didn't, because there was a family loss. There were some things that were going on that were out of their control. But yeah, man, just making sure that we're checking up on our dad groups, our fellow dads out there, in the midst of everything, making sure that they know that there's somebody there, that has their six and is going to be able to, just be an ear to listen to somebody, if they need to talk. And again, my line's always open. You can catch me, anywhere that you catch me on social media, wherever. So, shoot me an email if you need to talk. By all means, please. I'm here for it because, again, these holidays, do away with all the Black Friday shopping. It's not how it used to be, but you do away with all that and really break it down to the basic, traditions of family, connection, memories, because I think those go a lot more and are a lot more valuable than, some of the toys and whatnot. And granted, see your child smiling because they got the new toy that they wanted. Great. That's awesome. They play with it for a week, and then they're on to the next thing. But really, really focus on building those memories, and interacting with your kids in a way that does build those memories. And again, some memories could be good or bad, right? We all have bad memories, right? Some of them that it could be one of those things where somebody burns a pie or forgets to add sugar in the pumpkin pie or whatever if they're helping. Like it happens, but it turns into a good memory because we can laugh about it afterwards. We can then be comical about it. So, but no, man, this is again Operation Fatherhood. Y'all can reach me at Dro the Sound God on all social media platforms. And shoot us an email, operationfatherhood25@gmail.com. So if y'all want to be a guest on the show, my fellow dads out there that are listening, that are tuning in, if you want to, tune in and be a guest, let me know. Because coming, January, after, all the holidays settles, we get into the new year, Q1 definitely is going to be, star-studded and have a lot of dope dads. Those will probably end up being live streamed. So, greatly appreciate everybody that has given feedback, everybody that has tapped into the show. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a great rest of the week. Again, as of tomorrow, 25 more days, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. Wow. The year's almost over. 2025. Almost gone. Maybe at the end of the year, we'll do a recap of the year. I know I've only been doing this for a couple of weeks, but still, nonetheless, we can all reflect, right? As dads, we can all look back and reflect on a couple of things that happened throughout the year that we maybe could have done better. That maybe the things that we want to highlight are wins, as well as some of our losses, right? Because that's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we build. So, with that being said, again, like I said, I'm Dro the Sound God. Greatly appreciate everybody for tapping in. Again, dads, keep being great. Keep leading the fight. Don't stop. We got your six. Keep being great dads. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.